Okay, boys and girls, you remember during our program we've talked quite a bit about different types of prints, including relief prints. That print of Martin Luther King was an example of a relief print, and that actually starts with a solid block of some kind of material like wood or linoleum, and the artist would take a tool such as this and carve into the wood to make some areas that are recessed or indented, and then other areas that are lifted higher up. And of course that's already been done. On the other side here you can see a bird and a hand. So the artist has gouged out the wood in some areas. The black here is from ink that was then rolled across the matrix, and that's what this is called, the support for the print, not support, but the matrix. So the artist would then take a brayer, that's this tool, and put the brayer in ink, and in this case it was black ink, and roll that across the matrix. So you know that the ink is going to stick to the raised areas, but not to the areas that are depressed or indented like this. And then the next step in making an original print would be to put a piece of paper, and of course this one's already been done, put a piece of paper, press it with something like this wooden spoon, and then lift it, and of course then the ink is going to stick to the paper. So the artist can create multiple images of the same thing. Each one of these, though, is considered an original work of art. Now, I wanted to show you also during the program today how you might do something similar, and what I've done, rather than gouging into something like this poster board, I have stuck, you're right, this is jigsaw puzzle pieces. I just bought a $1 jigsaw puzzle, and they're pretty easy to cut. Some of them I cut in half to help me with the lines there. And we're thinking about freedom in our program today, so there are many symbols of freedom, the Statue of Liberty being one of them, and I bet you can think of some too. But Statue of Liberty, and our first step will then, since we have our raised areas and our areas of depression, our first step will be then to put ink onto a surface like plastic. It's helpful. And then we'll use our brayer, and we'll ink our brayer. Let me get this a little bit closer so you can see it. This is pretty sticky ink. You can also use tempera paint, but it's really helpful for it to be kind of thick. And in this case, it's quite sticky. This is washable block printing ink, and we're going to completely roll over all of the puzzle pieces like this. Might be helpful to put a piece of paper underneath your matrix. I didn't do that, but that would be a good thing to keep it off the table, although this kind of ink is washable. So I'm covering up all the puzzle pieces, close as I can get to the edge here. If you put the colored side of the jigsaw puzzle to the top, your matrix will last, and you can make more than one of the same print because it won't deteriorate as fast as just the plain cardboard side. There's a little bit of laminate on the colored side. So I think I have all of my puzzle pieces inked. I hope this works. So then we get our piece of paper, and we put it on top and press it down. It's really helpful to press with something like the wooden spoon rather than your hand, because the palm of your hand will force ink into some places where you might not want it. All the way up here on Miss Liberty's hand. You might want to do a flag. You might want to do the Liberty Bell. The eagle is another symbol of freedom that we have. If you don't do this at school, you might want to try it at home. Okay, I hope this works. So then we lift our image off and we have our print, our relief print of the Statue of Liberty.